Days are haunted, chasing the high you gave me. I just wanted to be loved.
What were some of the places that you performed? Some of the ones that you look back on fondly, I guess.
You know, oddly enough, some of the best venues I have, at least statewide, were like, it's weird in the United States because you either get to the small towns that have, you know, a relatively wealthy population, and they're open arms, and they're like, oh, come see my family, oh, could you do this, oh, come, we'll take you to dinner and stuff. Or it's the larger cities. Everything in between can be either great or lackluster. It's really interesting. Again, but it's the economic ability of people. I don't think people want to celebrate music. People want to enjoy good music. People want all these things. This is like, oh, Americans don't appreciate it because they can't. No, it's because they just can't right now.
Yeah.
Most people can't. It's become a luxury, and I think that's a tragedy.
Right. But I mean, you experienced the opposite in certain points in your career so far. What were some of the places where you saw it thriving, healthy?
A lot of when I was abroad. It was Japan, just because the idea in Tokyo, unless you're in like the rich part of the district, you can get a good apartment for $500 a month, and people were making enough money where they could enjoy themselves. Sometimes when people work to the point where they didn't have time for that, but on the weekends when they weren't working, they enjoyed themselves. Yeah, it wasn't usually a problem if they lacked money like here. I think one of the most interesting, so that's why I love playing in Asia, because I was always treated well, paid well, and enjoyed it. But one thing I think was one that was interesting, I went to a small village in the mountains of northern Japan. This was in Fukushima about 3 months before the disaster that happened in March. So this was in like November, December of 2010. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to these like small farming communities, and and farmers are like, oh, how much money can you really make as farming? But because of they're rice farmers and they're subsidized by the government, they make so much. It was the first time I went to someone's house. They actually invited me to their house, and it's like these old, nice little country estate houses. And this is 2010, so flat screens are expensive as hell. Sure. There's one in every room. We're like, oh! They would open up their house for me, and they would, we'd have meals with them, and we'd talk. Nice. And I know Japanese. I can speak Japanese, so it's not a problem. But, it's once I got past that barrier, it was just such a inviting process. Sure. And in a place where people had the money to actually be able to enjoy things like that. Mm-hmm. And it's a little hard because right now they're going through a little bit of a recession. They've been for a bit now, but I still feel it's a lot better than out here, because people out here are, especially New Orleans. I mean, I love this city. I love New Orleans. This is like, every time I walk down this Royal Street, I see like, this is what heaven looks like. All these old buildings, these beautiful, this is one of the most beautiful cities in the world, especially in the United States. In my opinion, the most beautiful city in the United States. So it has its grittier side. It can be very gritty, but it's beautiful here. Sure. But underneath that, I just feel like so much of people are just trying to get by in this place. Yeah, again, we've been talking since I got here. Before we started recording, we were talking about the desperation. Exactly. And it causes a seedier side to come out. And that's been evident. And it scares me, because I feel like no matter where you get past that point out here, there's going to be a point where, especially New Orleans, as beautiful as it is, there's got to be some major changes before we get to the point where people can really enjoy our lives. Because most of the people, especially who work down there, they don't really enjoy any of it. They work and they come home. Right. Yeah. There's no disposable income. There's no extra time. Exactly, and that scares me, because it's like how to live. Yeah. It's existing. It's not living. Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. This is a city where the locals exist and they don't live, and it's like. That brings up another point where I was saying, like, I don't do a lot of proper gigs out here. I do when they're well paying, but I do a lot of busking, because I make 4 or 5 times that in a day, in a few hours, than I would make a whole day doing just shows out here. And it gives me more time to enjoy stuff. Like, I have a fiance now. He's on the other side of this room, actually. But, you know, it's like, you know, to actually be able to enjoy some of the things that people who visit here, not locals, can enjoy is an amazing feeling.
Sure.
And now things are even getting better and better for us. When we were first here, it was hard, but now it's, you know, getting to the point where we can actually enjoy more. But, you know, there's just so much of this city that I just don't see. You never see the locals enjoy. Like, we have a very beautiful zoo out here. We have a beautiful aquarium out here. We have some of the best parks in the country. They're beautiful. Mm-hmm. But I rarely see people who work out or actually enjoy them.
Yeah. Give us some busking strategies. Give us like words of advice.
Oh, what's the best one I could do? If you're gonna do it, be good. Be not only in your playing, but to other people around you. We have, and everyone who knows the busking community out here knows this, that some of the people out here will set up on top of people and cause fights, but usually those people who can't make money anyway. Be good to your fellow people. Be respectful of where you are. Clean up when you're done. Be good to the people around you.
Yeah.
Because doing this is just as much as a people skill thing as it is a musical thing. But on top of that, be good making music, because if you're not good, you're going to make nothing.
Yeah.
It's one of those things, like, it's a sink or swim, and the fact that I've been able to swim every single day without a problem, it shows that, you know, there's a quality there. So be good at what you do. Do what you want to be. Be unique. Please be unique, because it's literally, it was me and Tanya, she's another violinist, and we oh, nice, sorry. We try not to, you know, overlap each other on the days.
Sure.
But it just seems as soon as I start playing, and then people start looking at my case, there's going to be like tons of other violinists, some of them really can't play, showing up everywhere.
Yeah.
Oh, it was funny because the first, like, when we started doing this every day, which was like the end of April, because I mean, I was doing other shows and stuff like that, but I was like, you know, I'm making more money doing this, so I started going all the time. There was like, no, but for the second month we're doing it, we see other violinists trying to grab the spots we usually do, because we noticed a few days ago they were looking at our thing like, like seeing how much show we had.
Yeah.
And of course they didn't make anywhere near it. It's like, why? And it's like, it's quality too. It's like everyone who passed, they see, oh yeah, you definitely do orchestra. Oh yeah, like, or I've seen you before. Like, I've seen people who's come up several times and say, hey, you're Justin Curry. And like, I've seen you play live before. I'm like, what are you doing here? I'm like, well,
yeah.
I make more doing this out here than I do most shows. So if you want to see a big one, my proper shows, we have a big one happening October 19th.
Okay.
At the Maroney Opera House. And that's going to be a huge event. That's going to be premiering my next album. So I'm excited about that.
Awesome.
But, you know, those shows are much more far between compared to, like, I'm just gonna go out for a few hours and just play and make a few $100 and be done. And that's the one thing. It's like, if you can do your work, do your thing, be good at what you do, because it's not about making money. It's really nice to make money.
Yeah.
It's about adding to wherever you are.
Sure.
And I think that's what people forget about doing this. Like, it's with any art. You're not just being there like, oh, background noise. No. Add to your environment. One thing we're lucky about is just the neighborhood. We were here doing busking on that corner on Toulouse, because we're right by Toulouse and Royal.
Yeah.
And we used to set up all the time. Everyone on this street knows us. All the neighbors know us.
Yeah.
All the shop owners know us. They give us stuff. They give us discounts.
Nice.
They love us, because every time we're here, we bring customers. We have good conversations. Everyone loves our music. Like, half the people on this block have one of our CDs. Some of them have all of our albums. And, you know, it's like that. We added to the environment, and we're loved and respected here.
Sure.
Because we, you know, not only are we playing music, but we're respectful to our neighbors. They love what we do. We're not too loud. We're always, you know, we always do. I mean, we're very, very good to the neighborhood, and this is why one of the reasons we moved here, because we add to this neighborhood.
Sure.
And that's something you have to understand as a busker, or just doing anything because it's still a stage. It's just a stage on the street. And eventually we're planning to have this place ready to be as a small venue too, so we can bring more stuff inside. But the biggest thing is that if you're going to do this, it's your home. It's a street corner. But these are where people live, this is where people do business, and you have to be part of that.
Sure.
Be a good neighbor. And don't just make noise for the sake of noise, because eventually, even if you make $1, the police are going to come and probably shoot you off eventually.